June 10th, 2022. Yesterday I was sitting at the computer and decided to go on ahead and review the video footage from the night before. Nothing much was going on. After looking through the files for a bit, I noticed a thumbnail that seemed a little different than the rest. I clicked to open the file and proceeded to play the video. There were dark clouds covering the sky. No signs of life. The usual for 3 a.m. But as I was watching, there was a light. Not simply a light, but a strange beam of bluish light that shot up toward the sky from the ground. It started out small at the bottom and was considerably wider at the top end. It looked like it flashed and changed somewhat, then blinked out. Later the three lights were back at the house across the street. Two at the top of the house, and one under the front porch. Again, no one lives there, there is no electricity on. Still, I have no clue what these lights are. Honestly, they seem to be pointing in the direction of my house. Strange. I do have videos of both of these events. Also, we have a new rescue dog. She is currently about 9 months old, medium-sized, and new to being taught anything. Last night was her first night here, so as much as she is figuring us out, we are learning her as well. She is already very protective of us. Judging by the way she acts, she must have been abused by a male figure. She spent the night outside last night with our other dog. She was quiet all night, but she was restless. All night she moved around the house patrolling, checking the doors, keeping a lookout and such. Yesterday, I believe she got her first visit from Peggy, the resident entity. Rainey was looking around the kitchen, seemingly watching something move around, and she would growl. Our other dog has grown up, and is now old, with Peggy, so she doesn't really react to the entity so much. The new dog is older than Ping Ling was, our first dog, when she came into the family, and she is considerably more energetic, so her adjustment may be a little different. Ping Ling has always been relatively calm and quiet, well until someone she doesn't know gets too close to us. Rainey is kind of all over the place. She will eventually accept the fact that there is an entity around, but I would be hard-pressed to say how accepting she would really ever be. I suppose it will all depend on her personality. She did take right to my 21-year-old daughter with autism, and that is generally not how things go for my daughter. Dogs tend to sense that she is different, and they usually become aggressive toward her. Rainey is very smart, after a day and a half already picking up on what we are teaching her. Because she is so high-strung, she does tend to forget her manners when she first sees one of us after a short time apart, but she is young, and this will be corrected within a few days. She is the type that needs a job. She needs to play ball outside or to go to the lake and swim or something such as this. She is very energetic and her mind is constantly reeling. These are the ones that are usually more difficult to train, but she is very smart. With time she will get the hang of things. Besides all of this, I have a cousin who is a professional dog trainer. If things get too overwhelming, I can always bring him in for advice. His choice for training are the brilliant Belgian Shepherd breed, but he will work with others if someone needs his help. June 12th, 2022. Yesterday morning I was laying in bed, lost somewhere between waking up and wishing for more sleep. I felt someone lay down next to me and put their hand on my hip. I didn't think much of this as I was not completely awake and aware. As I lay there, I heard the living room door open and close. I jumped up at this, and when I did, the body laying next to me disappeared. I got out of bed and checked to see if my daughter had gone out the door. She is autistic and she tends to get ready to leave and will go out and sit in the car until someone comes and gets her, or we take her for a ride. But when I went into her room to check for her, she was still sleeping in her bed. June 13th, 2022. Dark and early this morning, I was woken up by the sound of someone walking quietly through the kitchen. Directly after that, I heard someone come into my room with really heavy boots on. They walked to my window and stopped, never turning around and leaving. Curious as to who was standing there and what they were doing, I turned on my bedside lamp. There was absolutely nothing in my room except for a dog on each side of the bed sleeping. There are a couple things wrong with this. The sound was very loud and heavy, but didn't wake either pup. No one in the house wears boots or anything remotely close. June 20th, 2022. I just finished reviewing the cameras from last night. Not a lot has happened at my house over the last few days, but I did catch the 3 lights that keep happening at the empty house across the street again. Yesterday, when I watched the recordings from the night before, I found footage of something that happened twice within a few moments of each other. There were flashes of light in the sky, but there were no clouds at all. Anywhere. This happened in 2 different areas of the sky. I did save the footage for all of these things. Saturday, I went to my mother's house to pick up a training collar that I ordered from Amazon for the new dog Rainy. My mother lives about an hour away from me. She never really has much activity, but she told me that something shoved her while she was on her daily morning walk. She liked to walk in a park that is close to her house to get out and move around a bit and get a little exercise. She said that it shoved her so hard that she almost fell. With her getting older, mid-60s, this isn't really good news. Well, that and the fact that she always goes to the park alone, though we advise against such. As I was leaving, she told me not to forget to take Peggy with me. For those who are new, Peggy is the entity in my life that we jokingly named after the haunted Peggy doll. I responded with, "I don't want her, you keep her." My oldest daughter is supposed to come down to visit tomorrow. We'll see if things go haywire. June 21st, 2022. Things went haywire. My oldest daughter and her boyfriend came to visit yesterday. I was fine, then out of the blue a sudden migraine set in. When my daughter texted me and told me they were on their way, the migraine worsened. When they turned the corner to come up the drive to my house, their tire made a popping sound and started rapidly losing air. I told them to get in the car and take it to the tire shop, which is about half a mile from my house, before it was too low to drive on and have them check it and see if they could fix it. When they got back, they said the guy working in the shop asked them out of the blue if they were religious and set the inside of the tire on fire. The fire thing is normal for patching a tire, the question is not, especially seeing how I know them quite well, and I feel absolutely secure in saying that neither are the type to care about religious beliefs. As a matter of fact, one of the guy's wife, which I used to work with, is completely and utterly terrified of anything relating to God. But at any rate, the tire was temporarily fixed and the 2 of them headed back to my house. After they had been at my house for about 30 minutes or so, the migraine intensified to the point I desperately needed to sleep. I am prone to migraines, they happen almost daily, at times they last for months on end. Yesterday was different. I don't generally give in to them because I simply cannot. My life does not allow for such. I also don't use any type of rescue treatment such as Tylenol, ibuprofen, or anything of the sort because of several other health issues that don't allow for those types of treatments. Not to mention I am on prescription injections to try to manage the migraines. But I had no control at all with this one. I was sitting in a chair next to the couch leaning over with my head on the couch arm and was just completely out. I don't know for how long. When I became alert again, I stood up, staggered into my room and lay down on my bed. I am not rude. I never leave company of any sort to just get up and go to bed. No matter who it is. After they left to go home, and had been gone for about 2 hours. The migraine completely subsided and I was back to normal. July 9th, 2022. A few days ago my boyfriend left my house to go to the store. When he came back, he was a little wigged out. He came in saying something hit the back of the driver's seat in his vehicle hard enough to jolt him forward while he was driving down the road. When he parked, he looked all in the back seat and all under the seats but found nothing at all there. Later the same day, he opened the door and was letting the dog outside. He held the door, watched her go out, shut the door. When he turned around, there she stood, in the kitchen floor, watching him. Again, he said, "What the hell? I just let her out and she's sitting right here." If you have a true scary story and would like to hear it on this channel, submit it to SinisterFido@gmail.com.